What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Post Pro podcast. This is episode 28. Sebastian's not here again. He's probably asleep. But Sebastian, if you're watching this, fix your sleep schedule. Let's get started. Movie news. I had a couple things I wanted to mention. Let me pull them up real quick. I saw that, and this is kind of what I was saying. It's a bummer Sebastian's not here because he would absolutely love this. Sylvester Stallone has officially joined the cast of the Suicide Squad, which I think is just kind of funny. You know,
you gotta take the cake for the weirdest cast ever.
Yeah, I mean, they got John Cena and others of the like.
Yeah.
So there's Stallone.
Stallone now
kind of just fits in. Yeah, it fits in. I wouldn't be surprised if they get if there are a bunch of other cameos, in there of people that haven't been announced and won't be announced until the movie's released. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But
Spacey at the end.
Spacey? Can you say Kevin Spacey?
Yeah, it's just a 7 joke.
Oh, okay. We'll see how that turns out. I thought was kind of funny. So the People's Choices Awards happened recently. And top honor went to Bad Boys for Life, which, of course, this is the People's Choice Awards too. So it's nothing compared to the Oscars or Emmys and stuff like that. But I just thought that was funny. And maybe that's kind of indicative of how, awards season will be this year with how little has come out, That'd be funny if...
Best Picture goes to Bad Boys for
Best
Life.
Picture, yeah. Michael Bay wins
he didn't direct
an Oscar. Oh, yeah, you're right. He didn't. Well,
no.
I completely forgot about that.
If he produced it, then he'd still get the Oscar, yeah.
Yeah, for Best Picture. But anyway, I just thought that was funny. Bad Boys, top honor at the 2020 People's Choice Awards. And then, what's up?
So impressive, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, he didn't even produce it.
Oh, he didn't produce it?
Nope.
Shoot, okay, then I completely forgot he didn't direct that. I feel this movie came out
He's in it.
years ago.
He's in it.
He's in it. Does he makes a cameo appearance?
Yeah, he has a cameo. He's like a bartender.
Oh, that's pretty funny. That's cool. Doesn't it feel like this came out forever ago? I mean, it came out, I think, February, March, something like that, but it feels...
I mean, it was like 8-9 months ago.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it feels like a whole other world.
Yeah.
It was.
A non-COVID reality.
Yeah. And then the last thing was that Disney Plus pushed back the release of WandaVision, probably because of the Mandalorian's going on right now. So I guess that makes sense, but it's supposed to be coming out mid-January now. I'm still looking forward to that. I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Other than that, that was all I had. Didn't really have much. Anyone else have anything?
I don't got anything.
I don't know. I have a few things, but none of them are super interesting. Going off of what you just said, I guess probably should have done a smoother transition. But Michael Bay is set to direct a Jake Gyllenhaal ambulance movie. Did you guys not see this? I thought this would be really interesting.
No.
It's going. Let's see. This one says 11th of November, so almost a week ago at this point.
Okay.
It's about two brothers stealing an ambulance that has a patient and a paramedic inside. And then the younger brothers, they have some names, but apparently nobody has been officially announced or anything. So
Gotcha.
Jake Gyllenhaal is the other brother, obviously.
Okay. I mean, I like Jake Gyllenhaal. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of figured that one of you would have, said that. But
I hadn't heard of that. Is that or?
I mean, the only other interesting thing I think was Celine Sciamma is filming her new movie in Paris, I think, right now. I'd also have to double check that. And I don't think there were really any details. I think it's a plot under wraps thing. But, again, I figured you guys would find that interesting.
I don't think I've seen any of her movies anyway, so I mean...
Oh.
Other than Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Yeah, I was about to say, are you sure?
Sorry.
But
any other besides her most popular movie?
Yeah. Neither have I, but still.
I've seen them all.
Yeah, go Thomas.
Hey, look at that.
I guess that's it. Movie news. Why is my lighting so... I look red. That's okay.
I mean, you always look a little red, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the lighting's especially...
You're flustered.
Flustered
to see us.
Yeah. flustered Sebastian's not here.
Oh, no.
So yeah, I guess we'll just move on to what we watched over this. It's been a while. 2 weeks, 1.5 weeks,
Pretty much.
3 weeks. It's been over a month maybe. I'll start it off. We finished up our David Lynch series at the Enzian a while ago. We watched Lost Highway, which is great. Although I don't think I like it as much as I did the first watch. It's still like I was even more confused watching it the second time than I was the first time, which is usually like the opposite reaction I have with David Lynch movies. I feel like I get more out of them the more I watch them. Lost Highway, it's such a good movie, but it's so weird. It's so weird. I mean, I still think it's great. And then we watched Mulholland Drive after that. Really cool to see Jordan's reaction to that because he had no idea what was happening the majority of the time. And at the end, he was flustered because he was just like, I don't even know what to think. Did I like it? Did I hate it? So then it was pretty cool. He watched it the day after. He immediately rewatched it. And he was like, I think I liked it a lot better the second time. I was like, hey, see? So really cool to see those movies in
And I
theaters.
watched it right back to back.
Yeah. Cool to see those movies in theaters. Cool experience too. In film school that week, we ended up watching Chicago, which I know you recently watched not too long ago, Noah. And I really liked it. I thought Chicago was great. The music was fun. And I think Noah mentioned this on the podcast whenever he watched it, but it was a lot darker than I was expecting it to be. I wasn't expecting it to be such kind of a dark, sad story. And also like a lot of corruption and not the most likable characters, but the story was nonetheless interesting. Great music. The set production design was fantastic. And I really liked the editing and energy the movie had. I really enjoyed it. Probably the best movie I've watched in that class this semester. And then I kind of went on a cold streak where I watched a bunch of bad movies. Found this movie. So this, you know how I have that goal of mine to watch like every movie I've seen and log in on Letterboxd? There was this movie on Tubi that was getting ready to leave. It was called The Cold Light of Day. It has Henry Cavill and Bruce Willis, Sigourney Weaver. It's just bad. It's so bad. It's the action sequences are probably the best part of the movie, but they're edited to crap anyway. It's just a horrible action movie, which is kind of interesting because apparently this guy, he's done a couple documentaries that are pretty well received. He did one on Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's like a well-received documentary. So I guess he just can't do fictional films. But after that, that was horrible, I decided to rewatch the Percy Jackson movies, and they're so bad. They're really bad as well. The second one, I had actually completely forgotten I had seen until I was like midway through it, and I was like, wait, some of these scenes I'm remembering. And then I texted my brother, and I was like, have we watched Sea of Monsters? And he was like, yeah, we watched it together one day. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even remember. That's how bad it is. The second one's a lot worse than the first one, but the first one's still pretty bad. I like the book series when I was younger, and the movies are nothing like the book series, but whatever. Then I watched a couple of documentaries just because I wanted to watch something easy. So I watched this documentary about the production of Green Day's American Idiot on Broadway, which I thought was, kind of wild. I knew it happened, but I didn't know how it came to be. And it was kind of interesting. It was fun. Then I watched this baseball documentary about two knuckleballers during the 2011 MLB season. I liked it because, baseball. I'm a fan of baseball. I like baseball. So it was pretty cool. Then I rewatched Thomas and the Magic Railroad, which is a childhood classic. Have you guys seen this?
Yeah, maybe when I was young, but
I mean, yeah, I guess it's possible. But
Yeah, I mean, were you fans of Thomas the Train as kids?
I think I had to be.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure I saw it. I just have basically no memory of it.
Right, of course, yeah. I mean, I loved Thomas as a kid, and I remember watching this movie on VHS on repeat all the time. Rewatching this was absolutely an incredible experience because not only is it absolutely horrible, but it just brought back so many childhood memories. Alec Baldwin's in this,
Yeah, I was looking at your review and I saw Alec Baldwin was in it. I was what?
It's kind of crazy. Alec Baldwin, Peter Fonda is in it, and you can tell he has absolutely no interest in being in this movie. His performance is horrible. Um, and a couple other people, but yeah, I mean, Alec Baldwin's the best part of the movie, which is saying something if you've seen the movie. Um, yeah, I mean, it was just kind of fun to revisit a childhood blast from the past. Um, watched Tangerine, which we'll get to later. Then I watched this movie on Canopy called The Rebels of the Neon God. I literally only watched it because the title sounded intriguing, and it was fine. You know, it was a well-made, well-shot movie. Kind of boring. Not a lot really happened. It was one of those slice of life movies that maybe you guys would appreciate more than I did. I tend to slice of life movies really aren't my thing, but it was fine. You know, I just wanted more from the characters and plot overall, but it wasn't bad at all. Then in film school this past week, we watched Pleasantville, which is actually a really fun movie. Well, I mean, it's like it's a satire of sorts, but it's also kind of flips midway and turns real serious.
Very weird.
Yeah, but I love the concept, and visually, it's really nice to look at and really inventive, and it was really funny. But I think it handled its tone of seriousness and comedy pretty well, and it's definitely something I would like to see again. Then the other day, I decided to rewatch Happy Gilmore just because I was feeling something light, something I didn't really have to think about too much. And man, I ended up thinking about it much more than I wanted to because it's such a horribly made movie, but it's actually one of the few comedic Adam Sandler roles I kind of like. You know, most of his stuff I kind of find unbearable, unless he's in a like serious role, like Uncut Gems or something. I like that. I like serious Adam Sandler much more than comedic Adam Sandler. But this one's fine. Performance wise, the movie is like near incompetence because there were like literally shots where he was golfing, teeing up to golf, and the ball wasn't there.
Really?
I was just like, yeah, there were a handful of those, and I was like, man, how do you let that slide? But yeah, horrible movie, but a pretty funny movie. Lots of memorable sequences. And then finished off the week with another DC animated classic, Justice League Gods and Monsters. Nothing special. Probably one of the worst ones I've seen thus far. And that's it. That was my week and a half.
What a week.
Yeah, seriously.
Unsurprisingly, mine will go fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lost Highway. Yeah, I liked it a lot better the second time, which I guess was the opposite of Collin. Banger of a soundtrack. I talked a lot about how Lynch you should like kind of just experience the film and not try to overanalyze it, and then I walked out of it and began to just immediately overanalyze it.
Yeah.
So I just went against my whole word. Good movie though. I mean,
oh yeah, it's a great.
Does it really well. Then I finally saw Get Out, which I mean everyone's said everything they need to say about Get Out. It's good. Jordan Peele's doing a good job.
Do you think expectations were a little too high for you, coming in, or
maybe?
Great answer.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't really think so. I mean, I knew it was supposed to be good, but I didn't really like see it as. Didn't think of it in my mind as like that genre-defining new horror movie that I guess everyone thought it was. So then Tangerine. All right,
yeah,
cool.
All right, go Thomas. Heck of a week.
Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah. Oh god. Okay, heck of a week for me too.
Yeah.
Started off strong with Columbus, which was on the Criterion channel. I mean, it still is, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I really liked it. It's just one of those meandering movies where it puts like two characters who are sort of like in opposition, just in like terms of their outlook on life and viewpoints, not because like they're competing for anything necessarily. And then, they just kind of have a lot of conversations across Columbus, Indiana, not Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, wow.
So don't make that mistake. Yeah.
Shoot, I thought this was about Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, me too. No, but then it started and I was like, huh, interesting. But there's not like a title card in anything. So if you've never really been to Columbus, either one, it takes you like a little while to figure that out, But yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty good. Downsizing, which
Weird movie.
I don't know. Yeah, very.
movie.
I think that's mostly my complaint with it. Is it starts at something that is very interesting, and then it turns into something that is much less interesting.
Yeah,
And
I remember seeing that in
I
theaters,
don't really like
and
that.
I mean, I didn't hate where it went, but I was
Yeah.
confused where it went. You know?
I wasn't even confused necessarily. It just seems like a very obvious place to go, especially coming from like Alexander Payne, who like
Okay.
I mean I've only seen one of his movies, but it's sort of Election sort of starts off in the same way where it's like, this weird guy who seems kind of normal, and then it eventually like, picks him apart and like shows him to be like evil. And
Okay.
Downsizing kind of goes like the opposite direction with that, which is
Mhm.
kind of disappointing. It just almost like again, and I don't know because this is my second movie of his that I've seen, but it just seems kind of
Yeah.
like oh, he's getting older, he's like losing his edge, becoming more sentimental or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Yeah, that was the first movie I'd seen of him.
yeah.
So
I don't know. I mean, but don't really hate it or anything. Just found myself kind of bored with it after a while.
sure.
Rewatched episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Much the same reaction. Very bored with it after a while. God.
But Biologenosis is great. That's part of the movie.
I mean, yeah, but it comes so late in that you're just like, I don't care. Watched Mamma Mia for the first time, which is a great like.
Absolute terrible movie.
Yeah, exactly. Right. A great like. I was gonna say great like bad movie, but yeah. I mean, whatever. I don't know. It's like. Yeah, I just read a review that like I can't stop thinking about. That's like, the movie itself is bad, but watching the movie is good. And I mean that pretty much sums up like my
I
thoughts.
guess so.
about it. Yeah.
Fair.
I mean, like, I'm not saying you have to agree. I'm just saying that's how I felt about it.
No, I completely understand. Yeah, I absolutely hated watching it, but
Yeah,
I
sure.
can see how someone would enjoy it.
And apparently a lot of people do. So there you go. Man, this next movie, it's like nothing. Okay, so A Master Builder is Jonathan Demme's penultimate movie, if you don't include like concert documentaries or anything. It is like, so Wallace Shawn like wrote an adaptation of a like I think Norwegian play or something like that, maybe Swedish. And then Wallace Shawn also starred in it, and I think he did this for like the stage originally, and then he sort of like reworked it into like a movie, but and then was like, hey Jonathan, can you like direct this? And he was like, sure. I mean, from what I've heard, I don't really know how accurate this is, I guess. It's like it's not even bad. It's just like nothing. Like just watching it, there's like nothing to grab onto. Like I really do not know why it exists, other than I mean, like, what I just said, just like they were like, let's do it. I mean, it doesn't look like it really took that long to make or cost that much money. I don't even know. Like, there's really just
It
nothing to
has
say
a
about it.
Criterion
Yeah.
release?
Yes, I think just because like everybody likes Wallace Shawn and it's a play, and like Jonathan Demme, everybody likes him too.
Huh.
I mean, Armageddon has a Criterion release.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, but people like Armageddon. I was thinking of buying that because of the commentary track. So
Yeah. That probably would be fun to listen to.
yeah. Anyway, next up, watched The Favorite, which I think I mentioned last week as a potential pick for this week, and then didn't end up going with that. Yeah, I mean, it's great. I don't know. I really, really enjoyed it. Moving on to Spectre, just kind of, again, like with Downsizing, it just kind of gets like bad and boring after a while, and it's just kind of, it doesn't really hold your focus. It's like 2.5 hours long, which is really kind of infuriating. It's just like, why? I don't know. Again, like I didn't hate watching it. It just like, it just dwindles off after a while. God. And it's not even like, yeah, I can't really point to any like one thing that's bad. I mean, maybe like, the stuff that's bad with like all James Bond movies, like the villain's motivations don't really make a lot of sense, and it drags on a little too long and stuff like that. But I mean, the action is like fine, the acting is fine, the script is, I mean, fine for a Bond movie, maybe not like actually good. Yeah, I don't know, didn't really like it. Rewatched Revenge of the Sith. God, I mean, yeah, like I think this is, no, I guess Rise of Skywalker I would also put up there, but like between like 3 and 9, those are the two that I just really like can't ever see myself watching again
Really?
on my own because I want to. I don't know. I mean, just like the rest of them are like somewhat interesting in their own ways, and these two are just like not to me. Like I don't know. Of course, they have like somewhat good elements. Like again, I don't necessarily hate watching them. It's just like they're so few and far in between that I don't know. I just get like almost nothing out of either of those movies, and not even, not even like Schadenfreude or whatever.
Because most people think the third one's the best of the prequels.
It is not.
I would say it is, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the worst or if 2 is worse, but I mean, like whatever. Phantom Menace is obviously the best, and anybody who says otherwise, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Says what, huh? Anyone else says otherwise, what?
Well, I don't even know what I was going to say. I was going to say he's lying, but then I was like, that's not true because so many people. But like, I feel insane looking at the Letterboxd rating for that, where it's like a 3.3 or something, and I'm like, oh
it's good. But, it's a good movie.
I digress. Rewatched Contact, which is one of those movies that I had like either only seen in parts or like seen when I was too young to like fully remember it. I don't really remember which. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's good. It's a good Robert Zemeckis. I don't know. I guess one of his better works, but I mean, I haven't really seen any of his bad ones except for like Polar Express, which I don't remember that well. Or at least, I guess actually that's not true. I remember Polar Express really well, but I have like a nostalgia for like watching that movie.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't really know if it's good or bad.
You ever see Beowulf?
No.
I watched that in my college literature class a couple years ago.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. I thought you were going to say film school and everything.
No, but either way, I was just like, why are we watching this CG animated monstrosity? It's a weird movie. That's a weird one.
Yeah. I mean, I am going through his movies, so I'll see you soon enough. But,
yeah.
Watched Mysterious Skin, also on Criterion Channel, which is really good and really devastating. It's one of those things where, like, once you start watching it, you're like, oh, okay, I get what this movie is, but it's not, like, disappointing in that sense. Mm-hmm. You just kind of, like, I wouldn't even say necessarily, like, know where everything is headed. You just kind of, like, know what type of movie it's going to be, know, like, generally the plot beats that it's going to hit, but then those beats still, like, devastate you.
Yeah.
In a way. So... yeah, I mean, like, great movie. Probably one of the better ones I watched this week. Well, I mean, definitely one of the better ones. You know what I mean. Anyway, watched Bob Fosse's film version of Cabaret from 1972, starring, Liza Minnelli, Joel Grey, all that. Pretty good. I guess maybe I was a bit underwhelmed, but I mean, I don't really know where my expectations were so high anyway. I guess I was, like, expecting it to be a masterpiece, and it was, like, just short of that for me. But whatever. I mean, it's still really good, and I really enjoyed watching it, and it's fun, and the music is weird, and like less like it's more along the style of Chicago, where it's like a very sad subject, where like you don't necessarily. I guess I'm talking about more for me personally, where I don't necessarily fully enjoy the songs just because of like how like bleak and depressing the outlook is.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I mean, yeah, still definitely pretty good. Rewatched That Thing You Do. This time I watched the director's cut, which is a full 40 minutes longer. And honestly, yeah. The thing that struck me watching it this time is just like, it's crazy that Tom Hanks has only directed like 2 feature films, when this one is like basically perfect from the standpoint of like direction. And that almost makes me wonder if like, because Jonathan Demme is like a producer on the film, and he is like an uncredited or maybe a credited, either way, extra. So like it makes me wonder if like, like people that Hanks had worked with had like given him like a lot of pointers or anything, because it's just like, it's phenomenally good in a way that is, I would say, pretty rare for like a director's or an actor's directorial debut.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just great. And
so, which do you prefer, the theatrical or the director's cut?
I mean, it definitely doesn't help that I watched them within like the span of like 3 or 4 months or something. But like to differentiate them, I guess. But I would say, I mean, like I don't know. There wasn't really anything in the director's cut where I was like, man, I can see why he got rid of this. Well,
Yeah.
No, I guess there was, but I mean, I still like enjoyed watching those scenes, you know.
Okay.
And there were definitely like a lot of scenes that I was like, oh man, this really should have like stayed in.
Yeah. I mean,
But I mean, like,
40
it is,
more minutes. That's like that's a 2.5 hour
yeah,
rom-com. That's crazy.
yeah, exactly. So like, yeah, if a 2.5 hour rom-com does not sound like the type of thing you would enjoy, then I mean, obviously watch the theatrical cut. But I mean, honestly, I think the director's cut is like one of the better director's cut I've seen. You know, not that I'm the person who like goes around watching every director's cut out there or
Sure.
anything, but I mean, like, pretty good. Um, Watched Modern Romance, the Al Brooks movie. I don't know, pretty good. I forget like how much I actually talked about Real Life, but I think I did say that I watched it.
Yeah, I think so.
You know,
I remember.
pretty much the same thing, and that is it is like a very misanthropic movie in which Albert Brooks directs himself, and he plays like an idiot basically who is also like selfish and evil, which is like a very interesting thing to watch, especially because he's done it like apparently I don't know about so many times, but like at least 2 or 3 times in his directing career. Uh, yeah, I don't know. It's just again like just very bizarre, and I guess Tom Hanks honestly kind of does this too in That Thing You Do, for someone who is known for being like kind of like lighthearted and funny and like that guy you like to then like direct themselves as like I mean Al Brooks obviously does this more than Tom Hanks, but like as kind of like an asshole, and it just like totally works, and it's like a pretty much like exact inversion of like his star persona. But yeah, I mean I don't know. I'm just saying like I like the movie. Whatever. Watched The Phantom Toll Booth, which honestly I mostly watched because it was co-directed by one of the Looney Tunes guys, and I was like, I don't know, that sounds kind of interesting. I think it's mostly interesting on like an animation level, and it's pretty well done in that sense. But other than that, there's not really like a lot going for it. I don't know, like I definitely enjoyed watching it, but under the hands of like a lesser director, I feel like it would just be like bad.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like, I don't know if either of you have read The Phantom Toll Booth, but I feel like it's a kind of interesting story that doesn't necessarily like beg for a feature film adaptation or anything. So it is kind of, I mean, like it works, I guess. I don't know. It just.
Do you think it would have
necessarily-
worked if it was like a short, maybe like half an hour or something?
I honestly think it probably would have worked better. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Especially because there's like a bookend, like I think maybe 10 minutes at the beginning and 5 minutes at the end of like live action, like the kid is going into, or like, has to meet the Phantom Toll Booth or whatever.
No,
Very
okay.
bizarre. But yeah, so it's only like 90 minutes long, and then like 15 minutes are like pretty much completely unnecessary. I mean, not completely, I don't know, whatever. I mean, I kind of liked it. I don't think I'll ever watch it again though. Watched Wind River.
Great
I
film.
don't know. Yeah, I mean, like I can see that. I just again, man, I feel like I had like a bunch of things to say, but this was like 5 days ago. So,
Yeah.
I feel like I put it in my review. Hold on, give me a sec. I mean, so yeah, I don't know. There's like, I don't know. I guess I just never really got over the fact that it was like Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen in the lead roles, who like not only are white but are both kind of like not super interesting actors, and I guess they're both good in their roles, but I don't know. There was just never anything that I was like, yes, those two people are great. And like from a script standpoint, it is, I guess, pretty good, but nothing we really haven't seen from Taylor Sheridan, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like, well directed, or at least competently directed. I don't know. Like again, I didn't really dislike Wind River. I just kind of felt myself like slipping from it. I don't know, whatever.
I saw it in theaters. I only saw it once. It's one I'd like to
Sure.
revisit sometime.
Yeah, and I think if I had seen
have to
it,
for your since you haven't reviewed it, for your quest to review everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, I think I would have probably liked it a little bit more if I had seen it in theaters, where I'd been sort of like forced to pay attention to it for a while. But whatever. Watched Tangerine the day after, and then I finished this last night and just forgot to log it. What Lies Beneath, Zemeckis' movie After Contact, and like right before Castaway. Apparently it was like filmed like while Castaway was filming, which is really interesting. And they both came out in the same year. I don't know. I mean, I finished it last night, so I didn't really have like a lot of time to necessarily think about it. But it's basically a like Hitchcock pastiche with supernatural elements, and like it definitely works, and I definitely liked watching it. But like it feels like you could make that movie like a great movie, given like maybe just like a few key differences, and I'm not really sure what they are necessarily. Again, like I haven't put a lot of thought into it, but
Sure, yeah.
I don't know. Like I liked watching it. It's just not necessarily like capital G grade Zemeckis or whatever.
And what's it called? What Lies Beneath?
Yeah, What Lies Beneath. Starring Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford, who interestingly, those were his 2 and only choices for the lead roles, apparently.
Oh.
Which, yeah, I don't know. Interesting. I mean, it's pretty good. I'd say check it out.
Yeah.
And it's like, it also has a very interesting, like, shift in plot that I think works very well. So I think it's worth checking it out for, like, it literally becomes like, oh, you're going from this movie that everyone knows to this movie that everyone knows. And, like, I think both of them work pretty well. And it's like, sort of like a, what do you call it? Like red herring, I guess, in the beginning when you're like, oh, it's just going to be a plot of this movie, and then it sort of changes. So yeah, I mean, I think that was definitely the part of it that I enjoyed the most. And Zemeckis is still like good at directing and everything.
Sure,
it's not laughably bad or anything. Again, I don't really know if his other movies are bad. I'm just kind of assuming.
How many? I mean, you probably won't know off the top of your head, but like, how many do you have left of his filmography?
I think 9 total, but I have to rewatch like 3 of them because I haven't seen Back to the Future 2 and 3 in a while, and then also I have to rewatch 4 of them: Polar Express and Christmas Carol. And I'm not even sure if I've seen A Christmas Carol. I just think I have.
You probably have.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I think I remember like a scene, but like A Christmas Carol is one of those things that gets adapted so many times.
Exactly.
And, like, adapted and whatever that like I might have just seen something else and be kind of misremembering it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen like 4 or 5 Christmas Carol movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so before we get into Tangerine, I meant to mention this earlier when I was talking about Thomas and the Magic Railroad. But I found it actually kind of interesting. I wish Sebastian was here because it ties into his pick. Well, both of his picks, his previous picks, 9 and Stranger Than Fiction. So I was perusing the Letterboxd reviews of Thomas and the Magic Railroad, and I stumbled upon this one where this guy commented. He said, "Rip to Shane Acker's World War II reboot of Thomas the Train." And I was like, what? So I looked it up, and apparently after he made 9, he was slated to direct a film called The Adventures of Thomas. I don't know if it was going to be animated or live action or a combination of both. Either way, it never happened. But I found that interesting because Sebastian was like, I wonder what this guy is up to.
Yeah.
So this was supposed to be produced or maybe come out in 2011 around that time. And it never happened.
Well, so on Wikipedia, it says he was tapped in 2011. Okay. So, and then it also says, as of June 2020, the status of this project is unknown. So theoretically, he could still be working on it.
So theoretically, this could be a 9+ year work in progress.
Imagine it comes out just like Come and See, but with Thomas the Train.
It's like $300 million budget of Thomas the Train.
Oh,
they've been working on it for years. It's like they've made a whole Thomas the Train.
This is my masterpiece.
And so then I found, I guess after that happened, then Mark Forster got tapped by Mattel Films for an untitled Thomas the Train adaptation. And it said it would be a family adventure that blends live action and animation. But that one I know nothing else about, other than it was supposed to take place in modern day. So I just found that was interesting, since not only Sebastian said, I wonder what Shane Acker's up to, but also Mark Forster, the director of Stranger Than Fiction.
Wait, did you see this though? The Forster thing was announced a month ago.
Yeah. It was like
you just didn't. I don't think you mentioned that.
Sorry.
So,
yeah.
But
this was 2020.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, just kind of crazy. I guess I rewatched Thomas and the Magic Railroad at the right time. But anyway, so I just thought that was kind of funny, kind of interesting. Let's get on to Noah's pick. It was Tangerine.
Right. So Tangerine is how long is it? 88 minutes? Yeah, 88 minutes. Okay, so actually, the Letterboxd description I found very funny. So let's just read through that first. I don't know. Whatever.
Okay.
This is kind of a diversion, but so it's Christmas Eve in Tinseltown, and Cindy is back on the block. Upon hearing that her pimp boyfriend hasn't been faithful during the 28 days she was locked up, the working girl and her best friend, Alexandra, embark on a mission to get to the bottom of the scandalous rumor. Their rip-roaring odyssey leads them through various subcultures of Los Angeles, including an Armenian family dealing with their own repercussions of infidelity. Honestly, that's a pretty good description.
When you read it like that, too, it actually makes it sound a lot funnier than it actually is.
Yeah, but I mean, like, both of the movie and also I just think it's very well written, like, especially for the blurbs, which tend to be just kind of, like, dumb one-sentence things. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, I mean, it is that, the thing I just said. It is also, like, mostly I mean, I guess slice of life. I don't even know if I would have said that if you hadn't brought it up earlier in the episode.
I mean,
but,
yeah.
Whatever. I mean, it is slice of life. It is also, like, you know, it's combining a lot of, like, genres that are kind of typical over the past, like, 10 years. Like, you know, it's an urban odyssey. It takes place all in one day. It's an unconventional Christmas movie. It's a lot of things. But most importantly, it is good. And I liked it. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have anything prepared, I guess, which I should probably start doing, honestly. I feel like that's a good idea. But I guess my main, like, thing that I liked about it was, like, it's a very naturalistic movie. I mean, like, I think only, like, 2 of these people had, like, you know, significant, like, acting experience beforehand. You know, it's short, which allows it to be, like, naturalistic without that, you know, drawing out too long and being like, whatever. What else was I going to say? Oh, yeah, and it's just, like, it doesn't really, and I feel this way about the Florida Project, too. Like, it is sort of about one thing, which is, I guess, like, the transgender experience in this case, and, like, living in poverty in the Florida Project's case. But it doesn't really, like, when you're watching it, you don't feel like, this is a movie about that one thing, and, you know, we're going to watch that now. I don't know, it just, like, never really, I guess, beats you over the head with it. Like, I don't really
it doesn't force it
how
upon
better
you.
to describe it. Which, like, honestly, like, I like, well, maybe not like, but, like, I'm fine with when that happens, too. I'm just saying, like, kind of in opposition to this movie, which it doesn't do that. Yeah, I don't know. Well,
yeah. I mean, I'm the odd man out in this one. I really did not like this.
Yeah.
I think it just started out really rough for me, and the film I think got better as it went along. I actually really liked the finale, and I liked how things built up and escalated to that finale, and how just like at post finale it was actually like a sweet ending. I was like, okay, that's a nice ending, but the beginning, man, it was rough. Like, I honestly, the first hour I didn't really like at all. It was, if I guess the one word to describe this to me was obnoxious. I found the performances obnoxious. I found the music choices obnoxious. I found the editing obnoxious. I really couldn't get in. That first scene alone, I was like, oh man, if this is how they're acting like the entire movie, because I just thought they were bad. I thought the 2 leads were pretty bad. They got better as the film went along, but I
don't know. I wouldn't call it bad. I'd call it, like, non-traditional, I guess. It's different.
I don't
different.
I literally just call it, like, naturalistic.
Yeah, naturalistic.
Like, you can call it whatever you want. I just think that's how I describe it. Like,
I think maybe once I got used to it, I felt it was okay. But I don't know. I never felt like their performances were naturalistic. I felt like they were exaggerated, and they were, like, kind of trying too hard. I mean, even though they aren't, like, these they weren't trained actors.
I see what you mean. I think it's more like they're playing, like, for lack of a better word, like, very dramatic people. You know, like, Alexander's always saying that, like, stop being so dramatic. And so I found that kind of, like, realistic. Like, you know, I don't know. It, like, I kind of, yeah, I mean, like, to your point, it definitely, like, just kind of drops you in the deep end with their dialogue. Like, I forget what the first line is exactly, but like somewhere in there is like "Merry Christmas, bitch" is like one of the first lines spoken, and I'm like, oh, okay, so like I get what kind of movie this is, and
yeah. I mean, I think like tonally, it's okay. I found it a bit melodramatic and cringy at times, although like I don't know. I just don't think the movie worked for me at all. I think it was doing everything it needed to do, and knew that it was doing it in those ways. Just didn't translate as effective for me because I said, I found the performances kind of.
I'm kind of surprised that its rating was so high for what it was. Like, obviously, I liked it, but just to me, it feels like it's something that people would either like or really not like. I feel like there's a lot of people that just started it and didn't finish it.
I feel like, especially in opposition to the Florida Project, which had a lot of buzz, like you're probably not going to go watching Tangerine unless you want to watch like a movie like Tangerine. I don't think people just like. I mean, especially because it was like literally like a budget of like $100,000 or something like that.
And
I mean, also it's pretty progressive too, and people tend to like that in film.
Adding on to what you were saying about like the transgender experience, it also does like a really good job dealing with identity in general. Yeah. Like even across the Armenian family, even the pimp itself, and that's why the ending is so good. And my Letterboxd review is literally, like the first hour and like 15 minutes, I guess. So literally the last 20 minutes or 10 minutes, like it was what it was. It was like this fast-paced, energetic, but then that ending legit like got a tear from me. It was damn. I mean, yeah, especially the shot with him just sitting next to a Christmas tree. That's powerful,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially that. When, like,
I was really rooting for
between the three of them.
Yeah, I was really rooting for Taxi Driver Man, and then he had to go cheating on his wife, and I was like, dang. Why you gotta do
I mean, that's just what I was talking about with identity and all that,
No,
He doesn't know who he is, and at the same point, like the pimp is in this situation because of what he did, and then like at the ending, he's like reflecting upon it on himself.
No, yeah, I agree. I liked the finale, and I thought the ending was pretty good. Honestly, I have nothing wrong with there's nothing wrong with the story. I just
found it obnoxious.
Yeah, it was obnoxious. I couldn't stop rolling my eyes, and I think because of that, I got a little bored. It got a little not repetitive, but just tedious to watch. Because of how much I wasn't enjoying it. Yeah.
I mean, it certainly is. Yeah, again, not repetitive, but it's just kind of like, there's never anything that like marks like a significant like shift in tone or anything really.
Yeah. Although I did laugh quite a bit at times. I don't think I was supposed to laugh. It was mainly in the crazy editing choices and the absurd music.
I think some of those points you were supposed to laugh. I mean, I laughed.
I don't know.
A couple of them.
It felt so over dramatic. I mean, which again is I think at the point because these characters are over dramatic about certain things. But I don't know. I didn't like it. I don't really articulate, but yeah, it just didn't work for me. Also structurally, it came together once. It came together near the end, maybe even halfway. But I was the cutting between Alexandra and Cindy and the taxi driver was pretty jarring at first because it didn't set up any.
I think at first, it's very
activity.
Weird where like you think the main character is Cindy and then it's not. But honestly, I got used to it. So.
Like I said, about midway through the film when it begins to actually like connect in some way, I was like, okay, I see, but I didn't know if it was the best use of cutting between them in the beginning. But yeah, that's just me.
There we are.
Also, I have to mention, I did like the sort of guerrilla style of filmmaking because they were just on the streets. There were several shots where you could see like people getting off the bus, just kind of looking at the camera, like what the heck is going on. And they shot it on an iPhone too, so that was probably weirder. Yeah, they shot an iPhone 5. Yeah.
Wow. I guess that makes sense. The camera quality wasn't perfect.
I did like how it looked though. It looks good for iPhone.
Yeah,
definitely. Sure. And the use of color, I think too, and then the color grade and saturation, it made it look very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very tangerine.
Yeah, very Tangerine.
Uh,
The setting
okay.
of like winter LA, mostly like in the evening or at night, was a nice aesthetical choice.
Very much so.
I don't really have anything else to say. I just found it.
Yeah, honestly, the only other thing I was going to bring up was cinematography, which we just talked about. So
So I give it a 2 out of 10. I didn't like it,
yeah,
but
I
it
give it,
definitely has good things about it.
yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10.
and I'd give it I guess 9 out of 10.
Nice.
Wow. So
Look
that's
at
a
that.
6.3. Still solid.
I feel like Sebastian would have liked it, but I guess I'm just assuming for him.
Would or wouldn't?
Wouldn't.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
mean,
feel like
whatever.
he'd probably be more along the lines of me, but who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of similar to American Honey in that it's like just kind of a slice of life thingy, and I don't think he really liked that. So
Yeah, I mean, I gave American Honey a 6 out of 10.
yeah, I'm not saying he'd hate it or anything. I just don't think he'd like love it.
Oh
the
yeah,
way
yeah,
that Thomas and I did.
sure, yeah. Okay, well, with that, yeah, Tangerine. See it for yourself. Form your own opinion. All right, Thomas,
Alrighty.
what's the pick this week?
Yeah, my pick has been something we've been interested in watching for a while. It's one of Ari Aster's favorite movies. It's one of the ones that influenced him the most. It's The Cook, the Thief, The Cook, the Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover. There we
Okay,
go.
I've
So,
heard it's a wild movie.
yeah, I mean, it's one of Ari Aster's biggest influences, so I can only imagine. And it is on Peacock with ads.
Yeah.
Okay,
It looks like that might be the only place it's on, too.
Yeah, it's
great.
very odd.
I feel like maybe the university library might have it. I can
It
check.
might, actually.
Yeah. I feel like I need to start going there more whenever we eat, like, because I always forget. I'm like,
Yeah.
I should just check out, let's see if the library has it.
Do you have a way to like search the catalog like without actually going to the library?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to their website. I always forget though. I don't even think about it, you know?
Sure.
Okay. So, I can't remember the title in the exact way of words. So why don't you take the outro? Tom?
Oh, yeah. Join us next week for The Cook, the Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover. And when we review it on the Post Pro podcast for episode 28?
No, today, this is 28.
29.
29.
Alrighty. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.
My God.